The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Fatello, the best AI editing platform. Snap, upload, and deliver at fatello.co. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. Well, Mark Corcoran's not here. He's off doing Mark Corcoran type things. But Molly Peart's here. Molly Peart producing. She has a mic. Yeah, she does. I don't think she's going to chime in again on this episode, but Molly, it's nice to be here with you. I do want to mention that this is, of course, a Road to PMRE episode. So PMRE it feels like it's a ways away, and it is kind of a ways away, but now's the time to start planning. November 17th through 19th at the Palms Hotel, Resort, and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to PMREconference.com to check out all the speakers, all of the workshops that you can take, and, of course, all the information on registering. So it does cost some money to go to PMRE, and it's well worth it. But if you would rather go for free, this is what I'm talking about, because iGuide, in association with us, iGuide's really footing the bill, so I'll shout out to iGuide. They are giving away 3 all expenses paid trips to PMRE this year, 3 of them, and they just sweetened the deal. Everyone who wins one of those trips, it's more an experience than a trip, is also going to be able to take a workshop. So I think there's 4 different workshops. There's a couple photography workshops. We're going to talk through today with Gary and Andrew about their photography workshop. So in addition to those, there's also a video workshop with Brad Zemer. And there's so many cool workshops. You're going to be able to go to, I think, whichever one you want if you win this. So get in there, go to goiguide.com/PMRE, enter your email address, and then follow us, Upmarket Pod, and follow iGuide, go_iGuide on Instagram. It's all you need to do to enter this. The first drawing is happening in mid-June, so it's coming right up. So please get in there, enter because this is such a great opportunity. I don't want anyone to miss it. And so, one of the things that you can do if you are at PMRE is take some of their amazing workshops that they have. And this year, there is a brand new workshop out there on real estate photography. It's Real Estate Photography Refined. It's with Gary Kasl and Andrew Bramasco. And Gary, Andrew, thank you for being here. And I want to ask both of you guys, I know you're very accomplished real estate photographers, but I think both of you, in my mind, I think of you guys as more in the luxury realm of real estate photography. And can you, and I want to know from both of you, are you still doing regular real estate stuff? And can you even define what the difference is between luxury and regular? And are you approaching the kind of 2 genres differently? Andrew, you want to speak to that? Because I know you're out in the desert and you're shooting all these crazy, cool, expensive houses.
Yeah. So, I think really at the end of the day, what defines luxury versus regular is just, luxury itself. Like if you're shooting something at an extra high price point, even if it's luxury for your market where you are, you can kind of spin that into luxury. Really kind of what this is more about is why taking certain steps or, treating every gig with the same approach that you would a luxury shoot is so important, because that's ultimately what gets you to these higher tier of photo shoot. It's what's going to make you stand out and have people pick you amongst the sea of however many different real estate photographers are popping up every day right now.
Yeah, Gary?
Right now, I shoot kind of a mix. I do, most of my stuff is kind of in the luxury side of things, but I still do median homes. I'm in San Diego, so I get a good mix of everything, but I also do some retail stuff, A&D stuff for designers, and then shoot retail stuff, so in hospitality. So it's kind of all over the board. But I'm kind of all over the place, and I think that this workshop is going to be kind of general. It's not going to be so hyper focused, but we're going to cover a lot of stuff fundamentally.
Right. Well, and I would think though, it just from a business sense, and it kind of goes to what Andrew was saying, is I would think if you do have a luxury style down, that you would want to bring that to like all your shoots, right? And I mean, and sometimes if it means like you're spending a lot of extra time on the property, sure, you probably don't want to bring a lot of that to, just the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, first home, for somebody. But, having that kind of aesthetic in your regular real estate photos is probably going to pay off. I mean, has that been your experience?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Pretty much what I feel got me to the point where I'm always being booked out for these luxury properties is that I was going into every single shoot, no matter what it was, no matter where it was, and shooting it like it was, the one shot I was going to get to ever do anything special. So, I think that it's just, I read something one time that was like, um, you know, you're also being judged on the work that you're not putting out. So like the work that my clients are putting out and sharing, like that work has to be just as good as the stuff that I'm putting on my Instagram, because you never know who's going to see it. So I
Right.
just sort of approach everything with that idea that you never know when the right person is going to see something, whether I walked into the home and thought, oh, this is the most spectacular home I've ever seen, or if I walk into it and I'm just like, I'm not inspired, but I still need to treat it the same way.
Right. Right. Well, it's kind of like dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Right. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
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 And yeah, are you doing that too, Gary? Are you kind of putting the luxury aesthetic to everything you do, or do you have different gears
Not
that you do?
not exactly. Like I have kind of different approaches that I'll kind of take if depending on what the goal is, you know. I think the difference between your standard MLS photography and luxury photography or architectural A&D photography is just kind of the intention behind it and then the end usage. Andrew's approach is basically he's going to approach everything the same way because that's what gets him the quality. And whether he's in any space, it's going to be pretty much the same formula. Um, I have clients that kind of work with different budgets and stuff, and so I have to kind of tailor my approach to kind of go along with the budget that I'm working with at the time. And sometimes not every home
Yeah.
is like an artistic masterpiece. Like
Yeah,
let's
dude, I
let's
get
be
it. Yeah.
real. You know what I mean? So like I gotta kind of in it. Something that I find is like if there's not really a lot of effort put into making the house photo ready before I get there, then why am I going to put in tons of extra time editing and
Right.
lighting and doing all this stuff when I think that I would probably default to trying to talk my customer or my client into doing something that aligns more with the home. I don't want to oversell something, but that being said, I do have approaches, and then there's things that are done within those approaches that are similar and still get me quality images, whether I'm using lights or whether I'm doing outsource editing or editing myself or whatever. It just kind of there's things in my workflow that don't change, and then there's things that do, and I hope to try to show all that stuff.
Yeah. What's something that doesn't change?
My the way I compose shots doesn't change. There's ways that I think elevate the look just right off top. How you what lens you choose and where you put your camera and the focal length you choose and all that stuff. And then I think considering a bunch of other things that kind of help compositions be easily digested or the final image. It's like you could screw it up right away, or you can make it like decent right away, like right off top, and it doesn't matter what happens after that, processing and lighting wise. If you have a good foundation, there's not really any reason to change that at all, because I think composition is the most important part of making
Sure.
quality images.
Yeah.
And if you take your time or you spray and pray. Like I would rather spend my time on intentionally making better images than just going in there and going crazy with the camera and not really having any kind of like thought process behind it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. And then,
Yeah.
but then something that you might change those you mentioned, I mean, like outsourcing editing. And so I like when you're doing really luxury stuff, you're hand editing those yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mm.
started editing on my own. So I prefer to do that. It's just kind of like you get my signature look and I get to kind of put my creative spin on everything. But Sometimes the jobs just don't allow for all that, or if
Of course.
if you get backed up, like I know Andrew's booked constantly, so editing and processing becomes an issue and a bottleneck if you don't have things in place to kind of help mitigate whatever you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew. What do you do? What's your editing solution, and does it change from property to property?
Yeah, it changes from property to property, but mostly based on how I'm approaching a property, like how I'm shooting it, So, sometimes I'm going to have to go much heavier on flash, and I might have to do more compositing to make my images come together. Sometimes I happen to shoot a property where I can mostly get, single-handed one exposure,
Wow.
and I can, go with that. It's just relative to the property itself, but I do edit all of my own work. So, I just have to make sure that I have time and I schedule accordingly. And like Gary was saying, sometimes that can be a bottleneck, but it's just sort of comes with the territory, I guess. Like, it's important to me to always have sort of like that final touch on it. I think one of the hard parts is that with real estate, there tends to be a higher volume than when you're doing A&D and interior design.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to find the right person to outsource to and keep the budget like where it needs to be. I don't want to outsource and give away 75% of my shoot.
Sure.
So, but you can find balance. Like I just make sure to schedule the appropriate time to do my editing alongside with my photos.
So how many shoots are you doing a day max? And then what's your turnaround on images?
So I do one shoot, just one home per day, and I have a 5-day turnaround.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you are operating on a different wavelength than I think a lot of us. And good for you. Good for you, man. I'm not I'm no shade on that whatsoever.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And I totally understand that too. So like, my goal isn't to be like, oh, you can do this in this way. It's more so kind of like to show people what the steps I take to get to doing it at this level and implementing some of those practices into like your everyday shooting to improve the quality.
So is it okay if I ask you like what your average order value is?
Yeah. So I have just one specific rate right now for any new clients, and that's $5,000 a day.
$5,000 a day.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot. I think you just sold the workshop right there. So I think once people find out that you're able to charge $5,000 a day and shoot one house, they're going to want to sign up for the workshop. So there you go.
Yeah, I kind of wonder though if I really want people, like I don't want people to think, oh, I'm going to take this workshop and be charging $5,000 a day, because I don't want to make any promises like that.
Sure.
I've got 20 years of my life invested into getting here, so.
Right. But but I think it will it is a step in that direction if that's somewhere you do want to go. I mean, without a doubt, right? No, and of course you're not a one day workshop is not going to be able to radically change every little thing about your business. But I mean, I think if that's something that you want to have an eye towards, this workshop could really, really, really help.
Yeah, definitely.
And
we would be the ones that talk to about it,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. And so, but it's a little bit, and that rate is probably very market dependent because, you're.
Yeah. I live in Southern California.
Yeah.
And I'm also willing to do what a lot of people won't. Like I have a huge radius that I travel to get to and from these shoots, because it's like, I'm not just going to find a small pocket in Palm Springs where I've got enough people at that rate to keep consistent. I go from like San Diego to Santa Barbara, and I live out in Palm Springs. So I travel pretty far to keep that rate and to stay booked the way I do. Right.
And you can't be, if you're traveling that much, you can't be shooting 5 days a week then either.
I do not shoot 5 days a week now.
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I could shoot 5 days a week. I generally only take a day off if I basically don't book it. But I would die.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get really overloaded, like just, really important clients are booking me at the same time, and I just sort of have to take. There have been times where I've taken 5 shoots in a week, and it really, really starts to add up. And also, I will get diminishing returns on my editing. I have to have the appropriate amount of time to do these things, so I try very hard not to do that. But there's occasions where, it's just the perfect storm of like very important clients have very important listings, and they need to get done within a short time of each other, and it just works out that way.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, we can always try to set up our systems and our lives to be one way, but then you involve realtors and good fucking luck with that,
Yeah.
And and I remember, back in the dark days, I was doing 2 to 4 houses a day and editing all my own stuff, and it was just like it gets busy in the springtime, and it's just like, holy shit, it was just so much.
Yeah.
And then you're doing all the admin too, so this is something we've talked about on here a million times, but it is, you really got to be careful. And I think, and that's kind of, I think one of the things that when people have asked me for advice on, scaling or whatever, and it's like, there's no one way to do it. And I think, we made the choice to scale, but I think the other option is to just keep charging more and more and more and more until you can make the money you want and have the level, the workload that you want. And, that's the other way that, if you don't want to scale, that is the way that you can actually make yourself have a better life, where you're not just running yourself ragged all the time, is just start charging an absolute premium. And as long as you have some clients who will pay it, I mean, you're going to be golden. Gary, like what's your volume like?
I'm doing like 1, 2, and maybe like sometimes 3 a day if like it's really stacked or somebody, like sometimes there's 2 houses that are close to each other, and I have to kind of drive, not as much as Andrew does, but I live kind of North County, San Diego, so most of the stuff I go to is not close to my house. So
yeah.
So I'll kind of pick up 2 shoots in one day real quick, and then maybe I have to travel to the coast and go grab something. But mostly it's 1, but sometimes I'll get up to 3.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
but you're not quite charging what Andrew's charging.
No, I have I have different avenues, so different scales. Mine's kind of based on like a day rate, and then it scales down. But yeah, like a full day rate would be $3K for me.
Okay.
And then, but I start shoots, like I'll do a shoot for 500 though. Like
Sure.
that's where my packages start at.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think for Southern California, that's, I mean, we'll do, our base level, just photos, is 350, for a regular size house. And so, but our business model is very different. It's definitely a volume,
Yeah.
and I know if we charge 500 and we're just given photos, we would definitely lose some business for sure.
Yeah.
And we just have all these kids popping up, DMing people with offers of free shoots and everything. So, there is some downward pressure on prices for sure, especially if, you're not working with all the luxury agents. Although we just had a luxury agent, pull out of a shoot with us because I think they got some sweetheart offer from some kid and they went ahead and took that. So, you're never immune from it.
Yeah. No, it happens all over. And, that's why I think that, kind of having an emphasis on quality is going to be coming back, in my opinion. I think that the outsourcing editing thing was really cool when it first came out, and the run and gun thing came out, when COVID was popular and houses were just selling in a day. In my market, it seems like things are sitting a little longer, and having those quality images and that banger first impression is actually becoming more of a necessity, because otherwise these listings in these really special homes can just get lost in the sea of white walls, and and it's just kind of everything looks the same. So that's kind of something I think that people should focus on, is if everybody's doing outsourcing and everybody's images and process looks exactly the same, then how do you look any different, and how do you get business, or how do you charge more, or anything? So it all starts kind of in the beginning.
No, I mean, absolutely. And it's something that's been on, our mind a lot, really, is, the bar now is really low, right? You can, but what I mean by that is that, for someone to come in right now and approximate what Upmarket Media does, is pretty easy. 10 years ago, it would have been very hard. You would have had to learn everything. You learn editing, learn this, learn everything. Now, basically, we are at a point, I'm pretty sure, where someone can just walk through with their iPhone and it's going to look pretty damn close, and they're going to, send it to one of the, to Fatello or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's going to come out looking pretty much like everything else. So then what is your differentiator, right? And so
Yeah.
I think it's got to be, for us, we've more decided, because we've really made an active choice not to really dive into that bespoke luxury market, because we are kind of set up more for volume, and Mark and I just aren't interested in going out and shooting that. To really focus on our customer service and our turnaround times, and all the things, the kind of intangibles that someone who just is starting up and with their phone or whatever maybe isn't going to be able to do like we can do. We have a staff of people, so if we can send someone there tomorrow. Do
Yeah.
you want same day delivery? Great, we can do same day delivery. Do you, we show up on time? All those types of things that
Yeah.
I think all of us who've built good businesses probably do. But that's really going to be where you're going to differentiate. And so, or you guys take it the way that you guys are taking it, and just really making, imagery that really stands out and doesn't look like everything else. So,
Yeah. I think there's two ways to approach it like that. There's the volume people and the people that are good at running a business and are able to fill positions and photographer position and manage people and all that stuff and manage a big book of clients. But Andrew and I seem like we've chosen the more the boutique route, where the brand is built on our back instead of a group of people. So it's nice to have support to help us, but at the end of the day, it's like our eye, and I got to go to every shoot, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no, and that doesn't appeal to me at this stage in my life. But I mean, I think that's like, and that's what I would say to anybody is like, just make the business that works for you. And like,
Yeah.
I advise people all the time, don't put your name in the business, and both of your business names are your names.
Yeah.
So, but that works for you guys. And so I mean, and it's smart.
I think the intention of where, what level we want to operate at or where we want to go kind of determines like what path we should go down for this whole thing. If your goal is to have a big media company, and I mean, I'm not gonna, you guys probably make way more money than me, and like you probably shoot way more houses and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, it's really true. You have but there's a lot of moving parts to it. And I kind of tried that route, and it's just not for me.
Sure.
I kind of like I feel like more like I'm a photographer or like a artist kind of, like I'm trying to, I'm going to be in that space,
Yeah.
and trying to manage people is the last thing I want to do personally, because I just,
Right.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And that's, I mean, what a luxury to know that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that's the thing is like, I think so many of us struggle and try to do things in a way that we probably shouldn't, because you feel like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And it's not actually what we enjoy. It's not actually, and I had the reverse thing where I was like stuck on, no, I need to be the one editing. I need to be the one, but I don't even like this. And then it's like, whoa, I found that once I stopped doing those things, I actually enjoyed the business a lot more, because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I actually enjoy managing people more than I, enjoyed, doing all those other things. So
Yeah. And you seem like you're good, like people person, like good with relationships and all that stuff,
Thank you.
I've seen you in person, Reed. I know how you are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the networker, I'm that guy. I guess, and this is a question for both of you, do you feel like there's a ceiling then? I mean, are you capped at what you can make? Or do you think that you can kind of keep doing this and keep, raising your incomes, if that is in fact what you want to do? I mean, I think most of us want to make more money, but that's not the ultimate for everybody. So I don't want to assume that. But do you like, and I think for me, it goes back to one of the things that I like more with our business structure now. There's really no ceiling. Like we can expand and expand and expand and just kind of keep doing what we're doing, and we can make more and more and more and more money and grow the business bigger. But you guys are capped by what physically you can do. But do you think you can still healthily grow your business and meet your like financial goals?
Yeah, I do. So generally the take that I have on it is, as soon as I get to a point where I'm overloaded, that's when I'd start to shave off the bottom 20% of clients. Your top 20% are important. They just get left alone. And then you start to reevaluate that 60% in the middle who's going to have to get the price increase, who's going to maybe stay along for a little bit longer at what they're at, But usually once I hit that bottleneck where I'm getting way, way overbooked, which is generally in the spring, that's when I launch my new pricing. And I don't just boot everybody off of the old one right at once. I gotta keep the lights on. So it allows me to really test like the new threshold of pricing as I get there. And that's just been what's worked with me throughout the years. And I intend to just keep doing that year by year.
And Gary, what about you?
I haven't hit the ceiling yet, so I don't really know what it would be. But I feel like I'm kind of the same thing. Like it's when I feel like I'm getting overloaded, a price increase will kind of cure that most of the time. And
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same thing. But I'll be the first to admit, for me, making a lot of money sounds great, but I think there's certain things I'm not willing to compromise on either. And it's kind of like it's at my own detriment sometimes, but like I feel like I have like an artistic kind of need, and I want to be able to do the stuff I want to do. And I didn't get into doing photography as a profession to just be some corporate lapdog and have to bend over for everybody. I'd rather kind of take my path and do what I think fits me. And if that means I don't get to make $1 million a year, I'm happy,
Sure.
At least I feel fulfilled, and my life is good. So, that's all I could ask for.
Woo. Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a little break here and we'll do a social media sidebar, and then we're going to come back and I want to hear all about the workshop at PMRE. And then we are, of course, going to come back at the very end, and these guys came prepared with action items. I'm excited because they were like, they wanted, right before we recorded, they were like, oh, we got the best action items ever. I want to tell you. But I said, no. I want them to be revealed live on the show. So we're going to do those at the very, very end. So make sure you stick around for that. All right. We're coming right back. I love it when things are quick. I love it when things are good. I love it when our workflows get better. And because I love all these things, that means, of course, I love Fotello, because Fotello, saying it once again, has transformed the way we are able to do our business with their quick turnaround AI-assisted photo editing. It is unbelievable what we can get done so quickly. How great all the images come out. And when there are issues, they have their human editors that will come back and get in and then fix that stuff very, very quickly. So we've been able to offer same-day delivery of photos now. And for sure, every single morning without fail, all of our stuff is done in the morning because we have our VA process through Fotello. It goes really fast and get uploaded right into our system and ready to deliver to our clients. So please, I would hope that you would check out Fotello if you are looking for a new editing solution. It's fotello.co. If you use the code 50UP, 50UP, all caps, you can get 50% off your first month of service. And I'm really excited that they're now offering photo to video AI transitions. I have not gotten in there to check it out yet, but I am going in there right after I've finished recording and checking that out. I'm so excited about that. So check out fotello.co, use the code 50UP. All right, we've been back from Canada for a few weeks, so I think I'm recovered from the trip. I can soberly talk about iGuide without, just reminiscing about all the fun times that the iGuide folks showed us in when we went out and did our content day out at their headquarters and then at the Northern Spruce Summit. So I can tell you that iGuide is, of course, a tool that is becoming more and more crucial to our business every single day, because I feel like we're seeing an uptick in 3D tours right now, and we are having iGuide lead the charge for us because it is so easy for us to do those 3D tours, and the results we get are fantastic every single time. It's fast on site, it is accurate. Our clients love how the user interface, how easy it is to use. And of course, site plans. I got to mention site plans again. Everyone is loving site plans. It is a great add-on that you can do. You just got to spend a little extra time on the property and do some outside scans. And then you can produce a site plan that you can deliver to your clients and wow them each and every time. So go to goiguide.com to check out all that iGuide has to offer. And I would really, advise you to get one of their cameras and start using iGuide and selling it to your customers. There you go. All right, social media sidebar. We are, what are we? Upmarket Pod across all social media. My personal account is ReedFish LYSM on Instagram. Molly P Media over there, Mollypedia. Yeah, I think you're worthy of being followed. I think you should be doing it. So, Andrew, where can we find you on social media?
I am Andrew Bramasco on Instagram, and that's all I have.
Okay, Gary.
You can just search my name on Facebook, or Kasl Imaging was my old tag, but you can find my Instagram at OG Kasl, and my last name's Kasl. So
Kasl.
It's kind of tough to spell.
So, what do you guys like? So, given that you're both one-man operations, like, what are you like? How much thought are you putting into your social media? How much effort? How much, and is it helping you grow your business?
Yeah, I should point out I am not a one-man operation.
Okay.
My wife and I work as a team.
Oh, okay.
And we do every shoot together, almost every shoot together. Gary helped me on one the other day. So, that's actually very important, because I think what I do is a 2-person operation. I don't think there's any way. So Melissa comes with me to every single shoot. She's just as much part of this as I am. We discuss compositions together, lighting. We are both on top of everything that goes into each frame. It's really, really dialed in, just well-oiled machine at this point. So it's pretty nice to have that. But as far as the social media goes, Instagram is a major part of my business. I probably get 50% of my new clients from Instagram right now.
Mm-hmm. And how often are you posting?
I'm so bad at it. I just started posting again for the first time in like 40 days because I was like, I should probably do this if I'm gonna, start getting on some social media platforms and stuff. So it's one of those things where, people find me more so with I share a lot of stories. So
you do? Okay.
Not actual posts, but
that's fine. But that's what I mean. That's kind of when I say posting, it could be posting stories or, because I think a lot of people aren't posting as many, photos now. Or,
So I require that my clients tag me. That's part of the contract. So, it's important to have your name out there attached to your work as often as possible. But also it's just one of those things where you kind of hope that the work speaks for itself and people start asking who did it and where it came from. So
sure. Gary, come on, man.
I'm like
you're Mr. Social Media, right?
Oh yeah. No, I'm kind of struggling with it too. Like, it's not I don't like social media so much, like, just as a personal thing. I think it's great for business, and I do like to post, but again, I get caught up with I like what's in front of me too. So I kind of hyper focus on that, I think, sometimes. But I post like, once or twice a week, not too crazy. But yeah, I try to stay on there. But if anybody needs to hit me up, though, I'm available and I get my notifications on. I just don't post a lot,
Yeah. That's fine. Well, and the same with us. And I mean, that's why, ultimately we got, Molly runs our social media in addition to producing the show. And so it's like,
dang, I want a Molly.
Yeah. Everyone needs a Molly. Everyone wants a Molly. Yeah. No, it's great. You just pay for it and you can get one. I mean, it's great because
I'm gonna talk to my wife and see if she wants to join me too.
Yeah. That's a way to do it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I think that hits social media for us today. So, okay, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to hear all about the workshop, and then we are going to end with action items. I feel like I'm just talking about love on the show all the time, and I'm going to do it some more because I love HD Photo Hub. HD Photo Hub is such a great tool that any of us can use for the back end of our businesses. So, you're invoicing, your clients are booking, you're delivering all the media, you're tracking mileage, there's just anything that you can imagine that you can do for your business, you can do it through HD Photo Hub. Their new UI is rolling out as we speak, and it's fantastic. I'm so excited for that. HD Photo Hub, always innovating, always making sure that they have the most integrations and the most innovation out there. hdphotohub.com, if you go and you use the code Upmarket, you're going to get 15 free listing deliveries if you are a new client. We've been a new client of them, and it's been fantastic. So I would really recommend that you go check out all HD Photo Hub can offer you, hdphotohub.com. Have you ever thought about what is the tiniest room that you could make a floor plan of? I've never thought about it till right this minute, and I don't know if I have an answer. I know when I'm using Second Floor app and I'm scanning a house, I know it'll take those little tiny washrooms, a little tiny bathroom or something, and it adds it handles that effortlessly. It does the walk-in closets, it does little closets. But what if you just wanted to do a one-room floor plan? What if you had the world's smallest structure? I hazard a guess that Second Floor app could do the job and get you a floor plan of that space. Here's then what I think they should change their marketing to being, no matter how small, and it could be the tiniest space in the world, or how big. Well, there's probably a limit somewhere. Second Floor app can scan that space in minutes and produce instantly a floor plan that you can deliver to your client. I don't know what client you would have that had the world's smallest room, but if you did, you could send them that floor plan and they would be blown away, I am sure, because it would be accurate down to the centimeter. So if you want to check out Second Floor app, it is a fantastic product, a really great, easy solution for floor plans. It's secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You get a free month of service to do all of the tiny spaces, tiny homes, or large homes that you want for a whole month. Compliments of Second Floor app and Upmarket. All right, once again, PMRE conference coming up November 17th through 19th, 2026 at the Palms in Las Vegas, PMREconference.com for tickets. And you can also, when you get your tickets, you can register for a workshop. And so, Gary, Andrew, you guys are doing real estate photography refined. Right is the name. So give me the elevator pitch. What is this workshop about?
We're just the main purpose of the workshop is to help photographers improve their image quality. And we're going to do that by showing our techniques and showing how we use our tools, not by overcomplicating the process or trying to add a bunch of new gear or gimmicks or anything like that. We really just want to focus on refining fundamentals of photography and just kind of help everybody digest the why and then the how of why you would do anything on site. So from lighting to workflow to on-site prep, composition, all that stuff.
And is it, Andrew, is it classroom? Is it hands-on in a house? So how are you guys doing that?
Yeah, so we have a house reserved. It'll be hands-on. I think that it's probably going to focus more on Gary and I leading rather than everybody setting up the same shot, because if we've got 20 people on one shot, it's going to get kind of complicated. But yes, we will be in a house. We have a house that is very modest because we wanted to have the opportunity to show that this is not something that's focused just on luxury. We may have people who are not luxury photographers who just want to up their skill in their everyday shooting, and we want to make it practical for all skill levels and all people, no matter where they are in their career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really love that because I think that is so key because I obviously in the markets where all the three of us operate, there's a lot of luxury stuff. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think there's luxury stuff all around, but I think here it gets all clouded because even a shithole is luxury prices in other places.
You're right.
So,
yeah.
But I know that there is like that bridge between the higher end properties and just the regular houses. But I think, and that's always been kind of our pitch is like, hey man, we treat whatever property the same. I mean, we're going to try to do the best job we can do for everything. So I really love that choice of doing the more modest house for the workshop. Yeah. That's really cool. So it's not really about new gear or new anything. Is it really about composition, or is it, I mean, there's lighting tricks you guys are going to teach, or, what, can you give me a little bit more of like what the hands-on part really is going to entail?
My approach is not just about like the lack of gear or not lack of gear, but not needing new gear, but sort of like my personal approach, like my philosophy on how I approach photography, just sort of like what gets me to think in certain ways, to sort of like want to come at a project a certain way or like compose shots in certain ways, sort of like, refined thinking on it, just sort of what the last 20 years or so of shooting homes every day has led me to come at them the way that I do.
And I kind of just want to like help uncover the mysteries behind like lighting or like why pictures look a certain way that they do. Um, Especially the pictures in the luxury market, we can try to dissect what the difference is between what somebody's doing and what they see and they want to do. So as far as like what the hands-on stuff is going to be about, I feel like I really want to take them through how we would approach shooting this house on our own, and kind of just emphasize the choices that we make and the techniques that we kind of utilize to elevate that look and get the images where we get them. Andrew's been doing this a long time, and I've been doing this for 15 years too. So um, I just feel like I learn something from people anytime I do a workshop. Um, and whether you've been doing this for a long time or whether you're new to this, I think that talking with somebody or talking with a couple guys that have been doing it at a high level for a long time is going to
Mm-hmm.
benefit you no matter what,
Yeah.
and at the same time, like Andrew and I aren't going to hold anything back. We're not going to gatekeep anything. Like we're going to be a complete open book. And if somebody has something that they've been struggling with for a long time, or there's a problem they can't figure out, we would be more than happy to dive into it with them and just try to help everybody get better. I really like my main goal is just to help everybody feel a little bit more confident, and I want everybody to walk away feeling that whatever they learned on that day, they would be able to put it into practice the very next photo shoot and come out of that photo shoot with better images than they did before. And I mean, if I feel like if I could do that, this would be a success. And I feel like everybody could be happy with attending.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, and I feel like anytime you are like, and I know, everyone who knows your guys' work respects your work. And so I think there's, and even if people are doing comparable work, there's still going to be stuff that they can learn from you guys.
Yeah,
And you're probably going to find that it's actually an opportunity for you guys to learn something that you didn't know from the
totally.
attendees as well. I mean, that always happens. I
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
but is there like when you are approaching a house, I mean, what is like, even when you first get to a home, walk me through some of your technique. Like what are the things that go through your mind when you first get to a home and you have to shoot it?
The first thing that I always think about is just like, I mean, I'm kind of a problem solver photographer. And I want to kind of get into more like the exploration and observation kind of side of things where some of these really high level photographers operate and their natural light and all this stuff, and they really take the time. But when I walk into a place, I don't have a ton of time to sit and wait for the light to be perfect. I kind of have to like make it happen. So I started thinking about like what light I should use in this place. Are the walls like painted dark? Are they white? Is it big open rooms, or like what kind of light am I going to need in here? Do I need a big one, or can I get away with using some smaller ones? I also start looking around at like how well everything is put together and like photo ready, because I think setting the stage is one of the most important things. Like, and I think that people overlook it a lot is kind of helping micro stage stuff and making sure that chairs are aligned and all these little small details are it improves your image quality. Like whether it's
Right.
not gear, it's not anything, it's just you going through and straightening some stuff and taking the rugs away or whatever it is, but that extra effort results in better images. And I find that when a realtor sees me doing that sort of stuff and taking those extra steps, that makes an impression on them
Oh,
that I
absolutely.
care a little bit more than the last guy that they especially if
Oh,
they
for sure.
notice it and they're like, whoa, I never seen anybody do that.
Well, yeah,
So
exactly. No, I think it's a
yeah.
good, yeah, I think, I remember, yeah, like, man, Realtors love that shit. If you tell them like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that rug, they're like, oh God, they eat that up.
Yeah.
Andrew, since you're driving so much, and your coverage area is so big, do you ever, and I know you're not physically scouting, but do you ever like ask the realtors for like hey, could you take a few photos with your phone inside so I get a sense
Yeah.
of what this place is like?
Yeah. I like to have as much information as possible. Generally, I'll get to a home early enough to do a walkthrough as well, to kind of do like a quick pre-scout. That's usually what I start with anyway, as I walk the whole property. I'll have an idea of where the home is, like where it's located in relationship to the path of the sun. Like I'll look everything up before I get to a home.
Sure.
And then if there's something that I have, like if they send me, let's say some grand living room that has a bunch of windows in it, I don't really know which direction those windows are facing. So I'll always ask them if they can tell me that. But I usually will have a good handle on how much time I'm going to need there before I go and where I'll need to be. So the scout that I do initially is pretty important, just because once you're actually on location and you're using like your sun tracking app, you kind of get a different feel for what you had in mind. And then also just like taking the house in. And I'll usually just start with whatever room the lighting is the best in at that time.
Well, and then like how much time are you allowing yourself on site?
It doesn't.
Let's say it's a 2,000 square foot house. Like in general, like how long is this taking you?
So for me, 2000. So like 2000 can be really quick. I mean, like I can shoot a 2,000 square foot house in probably 2 hours. Really, I could probably shoot in like 1 hour.
Really, really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it can be really fast, but that's
2
also
hours.
depending on what I'm doing with it. And I'll, usually want to make sure that even that 2,000 square foot house, I'm there at the right time of day. Sometimes that would mean 2 times at different times a day, like 1 in the morning and 1 towards the evening. Just to make sure that I'm getting everything how I want it. But generally speaking, I don't have time constraints on how long I have at a shoot. I just shoot for as long as I need to be at the property. I just did one out here in Palm Springs a couple weeks ago where I did 2 back-to-back days where I started at 5 a.m. and I left after twilight. So it was like 5 a.m. to like 8:30, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So, and that's just for me, it's about like a final project or product. Like I always want to go the extra mile because I want that work to be like the most profound representation of me out there. And I'll just do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and that's the beauty of charging the rate. It's like, it doesn't actually matter how long, ultimately how long you're spending, because you don't have another appointment to get to that day.
Totally.
It's just, you have the amount of time, you might run out of light. I mean, that's going to be your biggest issue. Or,
that's actually
miss the perfect light in in that one room,
And that can oftentimes be one of the biggest things, especially when I'm trying to do something that's probably biting off more than I can chew. Like on Friday, I'm photographing a 19,000 square foot house and I'm doing sunrise to sunset. And I'm just like, I don't think this is enough time. So we'll see.
19,000. Yeah. In one day.
Yeah.
Doing it like you, I don't know. Do you and your wife ever split up though? And hey, you tackle the East Wing, I'm going to tackle the West Wing.
Not really. Kind of the way that we're operating. It's just very much a 2-person thing, especially because she's my human light stand as well. So rather than setting up lights in different areas, she's just, running around with it, and it actually speeds up the process tremendously.
Right.
And then, also she's got such a great eye for adjusting our scenes and our, every small detail in the frame, make sure that we're, so it works out really well. I think we save more time by working as a team than we do splitting up.
Yeah, but 19,000 square feet, that's pretty damn ambitious.
Yeah, I'm really scared. So we'll see. But that's okay. When you have a home like that, it's like, if you got to come back, you got to come back.
Yeah. I think you'll have to go back because you're gonna miss that 7th bathroom, and they're gonna be apocalyptic about it. They're gonna be like, how could you possibly have missed that bathroom? It was so obvious it was there.
Yeah, like gosh, it was in the 18th bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's too insane for me. That's too insane. Well, okay. Hopefully we've sold the workshop pretty well here, but I did also want to, because I love talking about PMRE, and I know I met both of you guys there over the last few years, and like, what impact has PMRE had on your businesses, if any?
That's a great question.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I love PMRE too. I've gone several times, like so many times I don't even know if it's 5 or 6 now.
Right.
I could probably go back and find out.
This will be my sixth consecutive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'd probably done 5 because I know that I missed one while you were there, and I'm pretty sure that I've only been there since you've been going.
Okay.
So yeah, for me the biggest thing about PMRE is the network. So outside of just like the professional resources that you meet there, meeting so many great and talented photographers, like you make friends with these people, and it's really cool because first of all you make friends, but then you just sort of like take these little bits and pieces of how everybody does their runs their own business and operates, and you just kind of learn from everybody. Like we're all on a completely different path, and we're all kind of learning as we're going, and that kind of experience is invaluable.
Yeah, I think the network is awesome there too. But something that I really enjoy is actually listening to some of the speakers. And I mean, some are better than others, but there's, sometimes there's people that speak that like I really look up to, and listening to what they say, sometimes just like I'll get a nugget or like something will click in my head, and it just helps me understand this whole thing a little bit better. And I really love that stuff. And then also, I mean, the camaraderie is crazy. It's just one of the best times. I mean, we don't get a whole lot of time to like be social like with other people that do our job. It's kind of a lonely sport or whatever. So
absolutely,
it's really fun to kind of like talk shop with other people that do the same thing.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of interesting. I thought about when like I think I met both of you guys, and like I just go and you're just meeting people, and you're like, oh, I guess they're a photographer, I guess they're this. You don't really know anything about them, and then you go, oh, they were funny, or we got had a couple beers together, and then you get home, and then you're like, oh, I guess I'll follow them on Instagram, and you're like, oh shit, they do good work. I thought it was just some dopey guy I met,
Yeah.
Like, so, everyone in there is actually pretty talented. And like for some, to me, it's just a disconnect because we're all just kind of there partying and having fun and talking,
Totally.
and, as business people. And then you're like, oh, wait, actually they're all in this room because they had the skills to get here. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I get it. It's kind of like there's no ego there, like as far as people trying.
There are some.
I mean, I'm talking about us. No,
are you lumping me in with that?
Yeah. No, I mean, I just feel
don't
like
know.
everybody's really genuine though, and it's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Go to pixelcrm.com where you are going to be able to find all the stuff that you need to run that back end of your business, keep track of your clients, market to them. So many functionalities with Pixel CRM. It's going to grow your business. Check it out. pixelcrm.com. Well, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. But getting there is going to take action for sure, which means it is time for our action items. All right, Gary, I got to say, we're a little cocky about your action item. And so I think I want to hear yours first, because I think, I don't know how Andrew and I are going to follow it, but, hopefully we will.
Well, I remember in the beginning, I was really hounding you about getting on camera and talking about my action item. So
Yes,
I wanted to get in front of it,
Yeah.
But I think that you could improve your business by shooting with more intention, slowing down, and really thinking about what you're doing in that moment rather than just going on autopilot.
All right. Dude, nice. Andrew?
Yeah, I think right now, and it's funny I'm going to say this because I don't completely follow it, but that's also because I'm starting later than I started way before everybody. But I think right now, the importance of having your face out in the public so people can attach who you are to what you do, that you're not just a logo and you're not just photos. I think it's very important to build your own brand that your identity is a part of.
All right. Put your face out there. Yes. We need to see humans on Instagram. You need to know we're all company. We're all authentic beings. We're not just AI robots, for sure.
Well,
Get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This may be my best action item ever, I have to say. And it was sparked by this conversation, so I appreciate it. So if you're still out there, I know a lot of our listeners are not shooting because they've scaled, but for all of you out there who are still shooting, next time you're like in a kitchen shooting a shot, or a dining room getting ready to shoot, and the realtor's around, I don't care if the chair is straight or not. you go and straighten that damn chair and make sure that realtor sees it. All right.
Yeah.
That's one simple thing you can do, and that's going to grow your business.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary Kasl. Thank you, Andrew Bramasco.
Thank you.
Of course, Molly, for producing. Thank you to iGuide once again and all our other sponsors. And thank you to Brandon at PMRE. And of course, thank you to all of our viewers, all of our listeners. We're going to see you in November in Las Vegas.
See you in November.
See ya.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios and is produced by Molly Peart and edited by Bethany Dietrich. Our wish for you this week is to not have to do any Friday Night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.